Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of PL Seasons to Remember. I'm Bob and I'm with Dougie. I'm not going to ask Dougie how he is because I know he is. But there's some very important news that we'll get to in a couple of minutes. But I just wanted to talk through today's scores first. So Burnley beat Watford 1-0. That was a good result for Burnley. Southampton lost 2-0 to Arsenal at home, which good result for Arsenal considering the results they've had lately. And Chelsea beat Manchester City 2-1, which means Liverpool are now Premier League champions. So Liverpool have won it on 86 points with 6 games to spare. They're the first team to win it with 6 games to spare. The previous holder was Manchester United, I believe. We've won it with 5 games to spare. I couldn't tell you what season that was. I think it might have been the season after the treble season or the one after that. I can't remember.
June as well.
Well, yeah, first team to win it in June, which will probably never happen again, but it's very strange circumstances. So, Liverpool are champions, Dougie. First time in the Premier League. Obviously not the first time ever. I'm not. Is this their 20th Premier League title, is it? Or
19th.
20th league title, I mean. Or 19th league title. So,
yeah.
Is it 19th? Right. So, basically, you've gone through... I'm going to embarrass Dougie a little bit here. So when Dougie was a little kid, and I can say this because I've known him all my life, at the end of nearly every season, he would get a bit teary as a little kid because Liverpool hadn't won the league. It would be okay when the champions were crowned, whether it was Manchester United, Blackburn Rovers, Arsenal, whoever. But then a little tear would come to his eye a couple of minutes later and he'd be like, oh, why couldn't it have been us? And the first time I remember you not doing that was when Liverpool did the treble in 2001. It was 2001, wasn't it? Yeah. I remember you being quite happy at the end of that season, which why wouldn't you be? So, obviously, biggest night of your life was in football terms, not your life. It was probably when you got married. Maybe not, I don't know. Was when Liverpool won the European Cup in 2005. And now you have just experienced another one of those days. Now, obviously... winning the title when you haven't been playing is different to winning it when you have. I've never experienced it that way because when Chelsea have won it, we've always played the game and won the game. So just on that, how does it feel to win the Premier League when you didn't play? Did that bother you, or are you just happy?
To be brutally honest with you, I didn't care how we were going to do it. I mean, I was so deflated on Sunday, the performance in Everton, and then the game last night proved why we were on the verge of being champions because we were brilliant last night. Okay, Crystal Palace lost a few players, but we had to come out and make a statement and say, right, we're going to get it done without, it drowning, going on and on.
Yeah.
We need to come out and really step up, and we did that last night.
I think the early goal helped. Because you got an early goal, didn't you? Oh, I think you're frozen, Dougie. It's frozen again. Sorry, folks, technical difficulties happens a lot on this show at the minute with the Wi-Fi as it's been used a lot. He's back. I think all the Liverpool fans are using Wi-Fi.
I thought because you stopped, I was still all right.
No, I was talking. So basically, I was just saying how Trent got an earlier goal with a free kick. So I think if you'd have gone longer not scoring, the doubt smart started to come in a bit in that game. But it was the champions' performance, wasn't it?
It was absolutely brilliant. I think it was so good to have the front three back, but mostly Andy Robertson. I think him and Salah were really good last night, and the partnership that the guys have with Trent and Salah, and Mane and Robertson, the partnership they have is second to none. So there's no each other's going to do, and I think the front three really came alive. But yeah, we just need to go out and do it, and then just say, right, we wait and see what happens. And I said we got City on next Thursday, so if it wouldn't have happened tonight, we would have gone. And I think it would have been one hell of a game on Thursday night. But try to stop us and us trying to win the titles. I think it would have been one hell of a game.
Yeah.
I think for any Liverpool fan around the world, especially for people of my age group, and probably a little bit older, won't remember. Well, actually, probably my age group won't remember us winning league titles in the 70s and 80s. They don't remember anything.
No.
Seen videos, and like I said, like you were saying then, I were always gutted at the end of every season that we never won a league title, because it just felt like we were never good enough to win a league title back then. And over the years, we've built and built and built, and the Klopp's come in and he's built a team, and finally the Holy Grail for Liverpool done now, and it's just...
Being a Chelsea fan, I know how you feel. It wasn't quite the same length period, but we had that Champions League run where we couldn't win it, and then we finally won it, and it's just such a nice feeling to finally get that trophy. I mean, I'm sure Manchester United felt it when they went through that long period, and Alex Ferguson finally delivered them the title. So it's obviously, like you said, it was the Holy Grail. Can England now go on and win something, hopefully? Because this is like...
yeah, all being well. Fingers crossed.
But I think what we should do is take a look at some of the key moments of the season. And so I want to ask you off the bat, because this season everyone was talking Liverpool about going unbeaten, which I don't think it's important. It's just one of them things it would have been nice to have. But Liverpool winning, maybe retaining the Champions League and maybe winning the FA Cup, making it into a bit of a double or treble, although they have done a double because they won the Super Cup. The treble, actually, she won the World Cup Championship as well, didn't you?
Yeah, so we've done like every year.
So they've done it. So they've won 2 trophies that you can't win every season. So, and obviously the Premier League. Do you think in some ways it is a little disappointing that you haven't bought in like the FA Cup and the Champions League, or are you just thinking it was just so important to get that league title? That's all that matters.
I think it's been a sensational 18 months for Liverpool Football Club. I think to run Man City so close last season to lose out was, we just, in the end, Man City just had that's something that we didn't have.
Yeah.
It was disappointing. And I thought, and I said at the start of the season, that I didn't think Liverpool would be as good this year. I thought that, could we then go again? After that hat, could we go again? And I didn't think we would, to be quite honest with you. People might not agree with me, and people might say I said I didn't say that. I did. I didn't believe we could go again. And we did.
I can back you up on that, because you've never been confident of winning it. I mean, you were confident in previous years when you haven't won it, and I think you've learned from that. And now you don't take anything for granted, do you? And think
no, especially when we blew it last season when we had a big as well.
But you did win the Champions League, so it wasn't a bad season, were it?
For 18 months, the last 18 months for Liverpool, going on winning the Champions League. And then, the nights against Barcelona when we were done, we were done 4-0. We had to win 4-0. Impossible sometimes to do that against Barcelona. We did that. We got to a Champions League final. The Champions League final was awful. But
yeah, and I don't think Liverpool came out of second gear, but I didn't think they had to, because I don't think Spurs offered anything. So
we'll get the job done. We did that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Won the Super Cup, won the World Club Cup, and then, like I said, it's just a really, really good feeling. And I say on about going unbeaten and stuff like that. Yeah, like I say, it would have been nice, but I think Liverpool fans want the Premier League title. We've won everything.
Yeah.
Now I can officially say I have seen my team win everything, and that'll do for me. That's brilliant.
Yeah, so I think on that, what you're saying, like going unbeaten and breaking records, and because now obviously they can break the points record, but I'm sure if they don't, you're not going to lose any sleep if they don't. No. But I think records are nice to have, but at the end of the day, at the end of the season, you get the same trophy, whether you get 100 points, 90 points, whatever it is to win the league. I don't know what the lowest ever is. I can't remember. Is it 83 or something ridiculous? It's somewhat low, isn't it?
Bigger every time.
Low. Yeah, it isn't low, but it is low in the grand scheme of like today's with the standards you and City set last season and you this season. So we'll get to key moments, but I want to ask you a question, right? Are you disappointed in Manchester City for not giving you a race, or do you feel a bit like? No, I'm not saying I'm not saying that you've obviously enjoyed the season and nothing would take away that this is the first Premier League title. But do you feel like at the same time when you look back, you think, well, do you think City should have pushed you a bit more? Do you think they've been disappointing?
I think City probably have not really lost company at the end of the season. They've never replaced him. I think defensively they've been found out a bit more defensively.
I think tonight's game proved that as well.
They're very shaky, and I think if you want to have a go at Man City, if you're going to sit back, they'll tear you apart. But if you want to maybe sit back and have a go, a bit similar to what Chelsea did tonight. Chelsea
Yeah.
look a lot in the game.
I think we deserved it in the end. I think, sorry to go off on that game, but I think City were dominant for like 20 minutes after the break. But I feel like the game, I feel like it was pretty even other than that, and we kind of had the chances.
I just mean in the sense of they had to. I was saying all game that Chelsea had to play through periods. They had to get to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm saying play through. I felt like I was Frank Lampard sideline showing things, and like just get through periods, and they kept doing that. And I said, Kepa. Sometimes, I mean, it's probably the worst I've seen N'Golo Conte playing ages. He kept giving the ball away.
Yeah, the pog. Do you think he looked a bit tired though?
Yeah, but like I said, it's
everyone's been playing like that though, haven't they? Yeah, it's been a bit. But I was disappointed with Conte tonight, or Conte as it gets pronounced.
I think Pulisic was outstanding.
Yeah, he had a good game, didn't he?
Where he picks the ball with the ball.
Definitely an important 3 points for Chelsea, and I'm very chuffed for Michael. I mean, I wanted us to win for us, but obviously I knew what it meant. But even knowing what it meant, I'm like, well, I don't care, because the point thing is we get the 3 points. But on Liverpool's season then, what are the key matches you look back on this season where you think, right, that was a really important moment or win? Because I'm going to name one to you right now, and I think when you beat us at Stamford Bridge, I think that was an important win at the time, because I feel like we played really well that game as well. And
yeah, we don't have.
They always say if there'd have been another 10 minutes, but there wasn't, and we lost 2-1. And I feel like that was a proper grind out result. And they're the wins that win you titles.
I look back at a lot of games. I look back at the Chelsea because lately we don't have the greatest record at Stamford Bridge. We have an okay record, but we don't have the great. The big ones were Sheffield United away. When Wijnaldum hit that shot, Henderson saved it.
Yeah.
The game against West Ham, where it happened with Fabianski. So we have got a lot of lucky breaks.
That happens when you win titles, though. Yeah.
But like I said, your wins against City at home, United at home, they're again, going to Old Trafford and looking back now, I actually said this after the game. I was disappointed at the way we played. I said, because Lallana got a goal late on, just before injury.
Was that when it was a draw?
Yeah, 1-1, yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, that point could be massive. And in scheme of things, I know, like
23 points clear. No, but I know what you're saying, because if you go from the previous season, yeah.
At that time, the draw last year at Old Trafford pretty much got the title.
But that brings back what I said about City being a bit disappointing, because they didn't push you. And it's great winning titles, right? I've seen Chelsea win titles like this, swear out of cancer, but the best season was when we won it under Ancelotti, when we won it on the last day, which is not good for the nerves, but it's exciting. But now that you've got this one out of the way, maybe you can have a season like that, coming up, where you win on the last day. So any other moments you can think of in the season that were big? What about matches that didn't involve you? What about like when City drew that game with Spurs? I think that was a big moment.
Oh, when they lost to Spurs?
Oh, did they lose? I thought they drew.
Bergwijn and
No. Back when VAR disallowed that winner.
Oh, with Laporte's hand.
Yeah. Now that was a big moment in the season.
This is it. I mean, like we also forget United beat them just before the lockdown at Old Trafford. And like Norwich.
Yeah, and it was pretty easy, wasn't it, for him? I remember. Yeah.
Norwich beating them at the start of the season. But like tonight I go back to when with the Gerrard situation, and that has haunted me for so.
Well, we're going to be doing an episode on that soon, aren't we, sir?
It's haunted me for so many years as that. And then,
do you think that was the one? Was that the one that hurt the most?
Absolutely, yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a question now. If you could go back and swap this season for that season, do you think you'd do it? I know it's a hard question, but would you do it?
I think at that time, I don't know, because it seems more special because that happened, if you know what I mean.
Which is what I said about us in the Champions League.
It was a real downer, and I think because I think if we'd have won that, maybe we would never have got Jurgen Klopp, because I think they'd have got Brendan Rodgers and he'd have gone.
Yeah, he'd have got a full season the season after, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
and Jurgen Klopp might have ended up at Man United or Spurs or something.
Arsenal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Arsenal. Yeah.
So I sort of think, just to progress, I don't think we'd have got any further with Brendan Rodgers after. Even if we won the title, I don't think.
No, I don't think it. I do think he's a good manager, though. I don't think he's a bad manager.
Oh, absolutely. What he's doing, very good.
So how does... I'm going to just keep playing devil's advocate here. I'm just going to push you, Dougie. Champions League 2005, or this? Is this a bad time to ask? Because this has just happened. You wouldn't swap those moments, though, would you? Because that moment was so special back then. You remember how you felt in 2005?
Oh, I don't know. Probably the exact same feeling tonight, because again, it was a trophy.
So they're on par. Are they on par then?
Ask me that when we lift the trophy.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of them, because back then, as it's same with Liverpool with the Premier League tonight, is we were so used to winning Champions League trophies back in the 80s. And
do you feel like... Yeah.
We got it. And then same with this. We've now done it now.
I think when you look at turn of the century, Liverpool have become they've always been a good cup team, I think. Been good at collecting cups. I think people forget how many cups you've actually won in that period. Like, you know, a couple of League Cup. You've won about 3 League Cups, and FA Cups.
In my lifetime, we've won. Like I said, my lifetime, I've seen us win everything, which is, you know, not many people can say that. And what you watch everybody else win league title, you watch everybody else win trophies, but then to actually do it yourself, to actually win a Premier League trophy, you know. This thing of you never won a Premier League trophy can end now.
Well, they can't say it now, can they? Yeah, that's the thing. Not to like come back to knock on Liverpool, but it's a bit like when they'd seen the no history thing at Chelsea. It kind of doesn't really hold much candle now, does it? Because we've won so much in the last 20 years.
Well,
but
like I said,
that's what happens in football.
You're a part of the history of Liverpool now, because again, because it cost us winning the title, and I said to you this morning, just help us. Just
like I said to you, give us 3 points at Anfield and we'll beat City for you.
yeah, it's great. I mean, it's not great to rely on somebody else.
But you weren't really relying on us, were you? You just wanted it. You were going to win it regardless.
Yeah, we were going to do it at some stage.
But you wanted it to be done, didn't you? So you can say we are the champions.
Yeah, because you always have that thing where it could, because if we go to City and get beat, and then
it prolongs it, yeah.
You think, you know, and everyone starts getting that little bit more nervous. But we shouldn't be nervous. But everyone, because we've never done it, we've not won it in God knows how long. People start to get a little nervous. And it's exactly what happened with last season. We just kept dropping points, and then it cost us in the end. But
yeah, it don't matter now, does it?
Oh no, doesn't matter at all now.
This is the thing, right? It's crazy. Like, all the years of hurt go in one moment, because although you didn't win those ones before when you maybe felt like you should have won them, you've won it now. That's what matters.
And that, I mean, I just saw when Fernandinho handballed and I went, penalty! And I must have been praying to the higher order, going, please, Willie.
Do you know what? We might as well talk a little bit about that game, because what was he doing? Because for me, I don't think it's going in, because I think it hits Tammy on the knee. I mean, maybe he doesn't know that, but I couldn't believe it hadn't gone in. I was waiting for it to go back up to play, and then they started talking about a penalty. And as soon as they said, I thought, right, he's definitely on ball, this, aren't they? It was terrible.
Pulisic went round keeper. I just thought
Mason Mount missing a sitter.
I thought again, City this over like it was last season, like didn't go over the line. It's happened again.
But like. You know, Pulisic scoring away. I mean, I think Pulisic scoring away did show you the frailties of Manchester City with their defence, though, which has been the problem all season. And then
Austin.
Is it Kevin De Bruyne or Kevin De Bruyne? Yeah, I never know how to pronounce it.
It's De Bruyne.
De Bruyne. What a free kick, though. What a free kick that was. It was incredible, wasn't it?
Incredible.
Now, I was worried after that because they dominated us, but we seemed to ride that 20 minutes out, and then...
Do you know what it was? I mean, Darren Fletcher said it in commentary. He said it's actually the best time of a drinks break for Chelsea, because...
Yeah, I think that did help, yeah.
And then, like he said, and he was saying that, you know, usually after these sort of drinks breaks, the team that's usually under cost sort of gets back into it. And then that first ball...
It's happened a few times, actually, hasn't it? Yeah.
That first ball towards the area, I thought, right, get doing that now, playing behind.
We did, didn't we? Yeah, yeah.
Came alive a bit then.
Yeah.
Again, they came alive a bit then because it took 20 minutes or so for them to get into the first half. And I think they just find their feet, and they did it so well. So well.
So when William scored, did you think William was going to miss?
Yeah.
Did you? But when he scored, did you think that's it now, or were you?
I was jumping for joy as it was the first. Then
no.
I remember playing Man City last season or season before when we beat them 4-3. We were 4-1 up with.
Yeah, I remember that game. Yeah.
Needs to go, and they scored 2 goals and they equalised. Thinking it's just never over with them.
Yeah, well, they're a good side. I mean, this is the thing for me now. We'll get on to next season. I'll save it for that actually. But so I know obviously like you must have got to like 95 minutes and thought it's over, but were you still waiting for that full-time whistle just to say?
Yeah.
Now, are you going to go back and watch that game, like highlights? Do you feel kind of fond of that game now because of what it did for you? Because I always think Leicester fans must go back and watch that Chelsea-Tottenham game.
It's a piece of
fondness. Yeah. Might be on your DVD.
Yeah, put it on. To be honest with you, I didn't hear it. As soon as that final whistle blew, I was off. Yeah. I was off in my own little world. But I said I didn't hear it. But then last night they were talking after the game, said, there's going to be a thing on Sky Sports Premier League. If Liverpool win the title, we're all going to get back together again and discuss it. So as soon as the title was won, I suddenly forward to Sky Sports. There was a press record, tape all the.
We had to come on and record this though, didn't we? We couldn't not. So before we get on to next season, I just want to talk to you about this squad, right? So who? So Salah top scorer, yeah? Must be. Or is it Mane? You should know this, Dougie.
Be Salah. I think it's truth on, mate. We've not had it for so long. Football was so long.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. Yeah.
It's one of them.
I was thinking at FA Cup and I was like, who's in it? You just can't remember. Champions League, I'm thinking who's in it?
It probably is Salah, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but anyway, so Player of the Year, right? I have seen debate about this, right? For me, I'm going to tell you from an outside perspective, I think it should be Jordan Henderson. And I have seen people kind of discredit that because they're saying he's not the best footballer in the league. He's not the best footballer in the league, but what he is he is an absolute workhorse. I think everything in your team works through Jordan Henderson. He puts in all that work so that your front three can do what they do. I mean, yeah, there is the English bias, obviously, where they're going to... I think he's going to get right as Player of the Year regardless, basically, because they do. We know what they like over it. But I've seen people say it should be Mane, which I can also make a case for, I think, fine. But then I've seen people talk about other teams. And there is this debate, like, should it be the best? How does it work, right? Because you have the best player, but does the best player necessarily always win the league? And I think it's actually a good point because you talk about Kevin De Bruyne, he's probably had a magnificent season. He'd probably be up there in that thing. So if somebody was going to win it outside of Liverpool, I would say, yeah, probably him. But for me, I think because you won the league so well as well, it's got to be a Liverpool player. And for me, it's got to be Jordan Henderson. So what's your thoughts on the Player of the Year?
I totally agree with you, Bob. I think Jordan Henderson has been, and I think he's carried on his form. I think he was the best player for England in the Euros, sorry, in the World Cup.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. In the World Cup, and people laugh at that. And I just sort of think people laugh at Jordan Henderson because they look at what Steven Gerrard did and what captain.
He's not Steven Gerrard, though, is he? That's the thing.
I think people forget this, is that the people look at, we've had a lot of great captains over the years, and probably Gerrard's probably the most iconic we've had. But he's not Steven Gerrard.
No, and he isn't that kind of player either. He's not.
Gerrard was a guy who'll pick up the ball, he'll play passes in, he'll win your football matches on his own. Jordan Henderson is a man who will work back and forth, he'll defend, he'll shift in, he'll knock a 50, 60 yard pass, which he can do. He can pass it short, he can come to play to feet.
Yeah.
Behind. But he's done something that Steven Gerrard never did. He's won a Premier League title. And, and he's won a Champions League.
Steven Gerrard with this team would have won a Premier League title, in my opinion, and this manager. But I'm going to throw another name in the hat, right? Somebody I don't know, I forgot, Van Dijk, right? So he's been brilliant this season again, but he is another one who has been talked about Player of the Year. Now, if he won it, I could kind of go, maybe think a bit, maybe I can kind of get that. But I almost feel like, do you think, I don't know if you're going to agree with this, right? But I feel like he was actually probably better last season than this. Does that make sense? Do you agree with me?
Yeah, because
I'm not saying he's been good he's been really good this season.
I agree. I think last season we were very hard to get past last season. I think, but I noticed at the start of the season we seemed to play a lot higher up, and we got caught a little bit more going in behind. But luckily we have a lot of quick players. We have Trent, Robertson, Gomez, and Van Dijk that get you out of a lot of trouble. But I think also we need to look at maybe Alisson as well, because
goalkeepers never get the credit though, do they? It's just unfortunate.
I look at Liverpool, and if you sort of look at it, is that we signed two players really. We signed Van Dijk and we signed Alisson, and they've pretty much won us a league title because
they transformed it. Yeah,
we never had a great goalkeeper. We had a great goalkeeper for years. He's one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League. He'll probably be the best goalkeeper in the Premier League this season because he's won the league. So most probably that's how that will happen.
Yeah, but I think he has been as well. I think it's one of them where
Van Dijk is, for me, the best centre-back in the world. I think he seems to play football at another level. I just think he never seems to look knackered when he comes off a football field. Everything just seems to be too easy for him, and I think he loves to defend, which certain people in the Premier League, defenders-wise,
David Luiz.
don't enjoy defending.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's like he's got that thing that like John Terry and Jamie Carragher and Vincent Kompany have, where they like to defend. They get
keeping a clean sheet is like scoring a goal for them.
Yeah.
I think
a clearance, like massive clearance, is like a big thing for him. Yeah.
I think the front three haven't been as prolific this season. I don't think they've been as good as they were last season. But then everybody else has sort of chipped in, which is really good this year. We're not reliant on the front three.
Yeah.
Origi's chipped in with big goals again.
Yeah. He did that last season, didn't he, as well? Yeah.
Trent Alexander-Arnold, I mean, his crossing ability as a right back, he's set so many goals up. Robertson set so many goals up. I mean, if we didn't have them two, are the biggest key in this team, because if we didn't have them, we wouldn't be able to function as much as we do, because everything comes from them. That's how the front three get their movements, because they make it happen.
Yeah.
I think that's what's so good about.
No, yeah, I agree with you. So, I think now.
The sad thing, sorry, Bob, to say we was on about going back, and would I prefer the other season? The one thing that's going to be a real letdown for Liverpool is that we've not won it with any fans. I know fans. People say, you're not won the league because there's no fans, but we played 30 games with fans. Played 30 games with no fans. Everybody is seen as, we beat Man United, everyone's saying we're going to win the league, right? It's not like we've had no fans all season and we've won the league with no fans. The fans have been there, but they've just missed the key part of the season. We go on and do it.
Yeah.
But are you telling me that there's not? I mean, I saw before they were showing the Chelsea game, Liverpool fans were starting to hang around after, which for me, I know they want to celebrate and all, but they're going to be on the news tomorrow, and then they're all going to be like, and they're going to have more social distancing. So they're going to get it in the neck about.
Yeah.
And that's they didn't want. People said, look, don't congregate around the stadium. And they didn't do it last night, but they've done it tonight. I know there's nobody there. But it's still.
I get what you're saying, yeah, but I feel like lockdown, I think it's got a bit confusing for people as well. I'm not saying it's got confusing for these people, but it has got a bit confusing. But anyway,
July and then go out.
Well, I've just got last season's Premier League table up. So if you saw me looking away, it's because I was getting it up. So of the whole of last season, so the whole 38 games, you conceded 22 goals. Now this season, with 6 games to go, you've conceded 21. So if you stay like that, I don't think you're going to go rest of the season without conceding a goal. But if you do, you've actually got a better defensive record than last season. But I think it's likely you will concede more. But still, 21 goals is not a lot of goals. Like last season was 22. That's not a lot of goals to concede in a season. So 86 points. So you can still break that record, which it's probably going to be the aim. But I was going to ask you, do you think that there's going to be a thing about resting some players because the gap between this season and next season is not as big? Do you think they might think, well, I might start putting a few kids in? And I mean, your kids are pretty good; they'll still be Everton. So, so do you think? And at the same time, I feel like that would be nice to see because you would like to see young players come through. I mean, is this an opportunity to bring the youth in? That's what I'm going to get at because
I think I don't. Sorry, I don't think Jurgen Klopp will play youths. I really don't. I think he'll still go with his team. I think they've won the Premier League now, and I think they'll want to go and break more record, and I think they'll try to beat the points record. None of us know really when the next season's going to start, but you sort of think it's just sort of their pre-season really. So
yeah, I guess so.
Everybody is fit as possible because you just never know when it's going to start again. But
let's just say let's say you lose the next 3 or something. That's just on the thing here. I don't know if that would mean you can't break the points record, but let's say you get to a point where you can't break the points record. Do you think then you might think, well, I'll bring some kids in?
Yeah, maybe.
Because that would probably be the time to do it. I mean, personally, now let's go into next season. So next season, you've obviously got your squad you've got. Where do you think you need to improve? Because for me, and I'll just say this off my own back, right, Lovren's not good enough. Coming in at centre back. So this is if you get injuries now to certain players. If you lose one of your front 3, your players that can come in aren't as good. So where do you see that they need to strengthen? And are you a bit concerned because of what happened with Timo Werner, which is just an example? Because it seems like Liverpool either don't want to spend the money or can't spend the money. What do you think? I mean, what's your thoughts?
An interesting one. I think looking at Liverpool's squad, it's not the best squad. It's not the best squad in the Premier League. For me, I don't think it is.
Well, let's just go on tonight. What were we saying? Manchester City brought on David Silva and Jesus. Who else can do that in Premier League? You know what I mean?
I mean, this is it. I mean, yeah, we've got a few injuries. I mean, like we've got Shaqiri, but so Shaqiri will still be here next season. We've got Oxlade.
Do you think he will be though? Do you think they might sell him?
No, I think he'll go Shaqiri. I think he'll want first team football. And he deserves first team football, Shaqiri. I think he's too good to sit on the bench.
He's been injured a lot though, hasn't he, this season?
Yeah,
as well.
Oxlade-Chamberlain. Before the lockdown, Fabinho won't even get in the team because Oxlade-Chamberlain will keep him out. And I mean, if you can keep that man out of the team, you must be doing.
Well, he's another workhorse, isn't he? So.
Brilliant. I think we need to get a creative midfielder. I think we do lack that someone who, like when we used to have Coutinho, he used to be able to get things going and play through little balls through the iron needle to the guys up front. And I think we do miss that because I think at the moment we've got more people that will want to fight you, and battle.
Yeah.
He says someone who's just going to do that little bit of magic and make something happen. So I think we do need that. I do think we need, like you say, bit more strength in depth with defence. I think looking at what we have at right back, we have Alexander-Arnold, but we also have Nico Williams as well, who's a young rat, and he looks pretty good as well. So that'll be a lovely battle to see that, because it all depends how what they want to do.
Yeah. Well, I think Trent's probably going to move to midfield at some point. I get that feeling about him.
Nico Williams, if he keeps his feet on the ground, then you never know. He could be Liverpool's right back if they decide to bring Trent a bit further forward. For me, Trent should stay where he is. That's where his position is. That's where he's best at. Don't move him and put him somewhere else because it might not work. It might work, but keep him where he's best at.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Gary Neville was a great right back. You're not going to go, well, let's put him in midfield.
No. But then I think of like players like Gareth Bale, but he was like an average left back who became a world-class left winger. But there are examples. Like I think Glenn Johnson was better as a winger for Portsmouth that season than he ever was in any other season at right back for us or you.
Yeah, he was good. I think that's the modern player now, isn't it?
Yeah, they're good going forward out there.
All good going forward. I think I'd like to see us get another striker. I think we do need another striker. I mean, we did the show quite a bit ago about Timo Werner before I even fought with Chelsea, and I said can he come in and be better than what we already have? Now, I've sort of sat back and looked at it now and thinking, right, I'm looking at my bench thinking, who have we got? But we're not going to sign Timo Werner and put him on the bench.
No, exactly. That was the thing, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's similar with Spurs. It's that thing with Spurs where if they're going to sign a striker and they're going to go, well, you're going to be on the bench because you're not getting above Harry Kane.
No, exactly. Yeah. You might get to play with him for 15 minutes, or you'll play in cups or whatever. That's a hard position to fill. I think you're in a similar boat. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we just need someone who's happy to come on, like a bit like a Gallo at Man United, where he's happy to be there. You're not going to get this all the time, mind you. You're not going to get a player.
No.
Come on when he comes on. You're not going to get that. You want someone who's going to push Firmino. I think we want to get someone who's going to really, because Origi, I like Origi, but he's not. If we want to progress and be better and go and win another league title next season, he ain't going to be the person who, for me, who's going to be on the bus to do it.
No, I totally agree with you. But like you say, those positions are hard to fill, and I think back to when we had Diego Costa, but we had like Remy, who was quite a good backup.
Because he could struggle.
But it didn't last, and I feel like, when Man United had those 4 strikers in 98-99, that was quite incredible. They had those 4 strikers at the same time, but they didn't keep them happy forever, did they? And they went, they all went eventually.
Absolutely. And I think we want to get someone who's maybe we get a youngster. I mean, we've got Ryan Brewster, who is on loan at Swansea at the moment. Now he's a young talent, but again, it's whether you want. The thing for Liverpool now is whether we want to wait and bring youth in, or we're going to say, right, that's one league title now. We're hungry. We want to go get another one. Then maybe youth isn't what we need at the moment. We need to be pushing and getting big name players in and trying to win another league title.
Yeah.
That's the thing, that predicament Klopp's in now. It's whether, do you want to sit back? We can't sit back. We must go again now. We must go back and buy players and go again.
We're gonna go on to opponents next season before we finish up. But something I was gonna say is, right, if you don't win the league ever again, now you've won it, are you thinking though that like, well, we've won it, so hang on, this is kind of coming out wrong. So if you don't ever win it again in your lifetime, are you just going to be like, well, at least I've seen us win it? Does that make sense? Like I think with Chelsea with the Champions League, I'd love to see them win it again. But if they don't ever win it again, I'm not going to lose sleep over it, because that moment it'll never get better than that moment, basically. So do you feel that way about the league title now? Do you feel like,
I mean,
you want to win it again, but if you don't, are you always going to think, well, at least we've got it?
I think I'll be 30 in September, and I should hope that I ain't going to have to wait another 30 years to see us do it again. But like you said, I think years ago I'd have said I'll never win when we won the Champions League in 2005. We said, look, if we never win it again, right?
But you have, yeah.
I've seen us do it, but then we won and did it again. I think at the moment, if they could turn around and say, right, Ash, you've won the Premier League now, you're not going to win it again. How about, like you say, we've seen it.
Yeah.
I didn't think we'd ever see it again. I didn't think I'd ever see Liverpool win a Premier League title. We have done. If we win it again, it's a bonus. But I think if you're looking to be a big club, then you need to think, you want to
win it again. Now, back-to-back titles is hard. Blackburn couldn't do it. Arsenal never did it. Man United, Chelsea, and City have all done it. It's a hard thing to. I mean, we talked about Man United winning it 3 times in a row. I mean, how incredible is that, right? It's very hard now. I feel like the competition is suddenly your gaps like that, but I feel like the way it's going, it looks like it might be closing a little bit, which is not really based off anything, just on potential transfers and how. Like, I look at Man United. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to be up there, but look at the difference it was the other day when it was Pogba and Fernandes. You looked at them then and you thought, actually, they're not a bad little team now, are they? Chelsea with Timo Werner, possibly Kai Havertz. Again, I'm a bit worried because we keep buying attackers and I want centre backs. We're bringing Ziyech in, but and then I think the big one for me though, Manchester City, this whole appeal thing. If they get it reduced to 1 year, I think they'll be favourites for the title next year because they'll only have the Premier League to concentrate on.
I also think if they didn't, and if it's 1 year, you need to look at the people like Aguero and Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne has turned around and said that he would have to think about his options if Man City didn't get in the Champions League. Now,
I think he'd stay for a year, though, don't you? If it was just 1 year.
Depends how much he wants to win the title.
Well, I think he's 28, 29, is he? Something like that.
He's in the prime of his years now.
Yeah.
He'll want to win a Champions League.
But
and I think that's the problem, I think, for City next season. They will come again. Oh, believe me, they'll come again. And Liverpool, I said to Liverpool now, you have to make sure you're on your guard next season because they will hate this.
Well, the problem is as well, is getting that hunger back for the season after, because it's so hard to get yourself to go again. Like you said, the Liverpool managed to get themselves to go again from last season. Can they do it for a third season? If you don't bring in some bigger players, some other players.
Like I say, also, we never lost anybody as well. So we never lost anybody, and we sort of went, right, same team, we go again. But
yeah. Whereas I look at
Silva at the end of the season, huge name is going to be going. I just think, a lot of people, when we've spot. I speak to me. I said we've got this. We do the podcast now, and I think everybody else has sort of said this league isn't what it was because all the other teams. They said the thing we'll get Liverpool now is everybody else is rubbish, and Liverpool will lead that because everybody else is poor. So that's the thing that Liverpool fans will get now is that you've won it. Won the league when the league is poor, really. But my answer. I'm still
here, Dougie, by the way.
All right. My answer to that is my answer to that would be back years ago when Man United and Arsenal used to win the league. Nobody used to come close. I'd like to see some tables and stuff like that. Because I might be talking a lot about rubbish here, but I'd like to see tables and look at what the points difference was between second and third, or first and third, and see actually how far away people were from them two, because they won it every year pretty much. If it wasn't Arsenal, it was Man United. I know Blackburn won it, but half the time it was always them two battling for the top, and everybody else they were miles behind them two. And I sort of think,
I know what you're saying.
Man United had not a moment, but they had a stretch where it was them all the time. And then Arsenal had a moment where it was them all the time. And it was consistent. We have to do it on a consistent basis. We can't just win it once and then we will never be considered as real champions if we don't continue to keep trying and working to win it. Again, what I'm saying is,
of course, yeah.
Everybody was behind them two, and at the start of the season, it was no one looked at Chelsea or Tottenham or Liverpool or Newcastle at the start of every season back then and said, actually, them lot are going to win the league this year. It was always Arsenal or Man United, and that's the thing now. It's always Liverpool or Man.
I think what people notice now is, and I've heard this talked about other things, is I think the technical qualities of players are not what they were now. I think there's a lot. I think players are fitter now, but I don't think there's a lot. As much quality as there was back in those days, personally. I do think the Premier League has dipped in quality. I'm not saying that's why Liverpool won the league, because you could have won it anyway. But anyway, so next season, I think City might have felt like they were going to come back and it was going to be City and Liverpool, but I don't think they were expecting Chelsea. I don't think they were expecting Chelsea or maybe in Manchester United to kind of, maybe do the business that's rumored to be doing. I mean, Manchester United have been linked with Sancho quite heavily, which I don't know what's happening with that. I mean, I think 117 million is ridiculous for any player. But that just to me shows that Dortmund don't want to lose him.
I sort of think, Bob, as well, is looking at the way the league is now, is that I think if you don't do good business, I think you're going to struggle. I think we have signed a lot of players up to good contracts and then sold our best players and got a lot of money. Now, our money team, we don't really have a lot of money. I believe we're a self-sustained model. We don't have a lot of money. The reason we got Van Dijk and Alisson is because we sold Coutinho for so much amount of money. You know what I mean? Like selling Jordan Ibe to Bournemouth for like nearly 16 million, selling Dominic
to
Bournemouth. And I think, we didn't really have to use ownership money because we were making such good business.
It's smart business, isn't it? Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah, I always say that. Yeah, go on.
Sorry. People like, and you got Arsenal who sadly, have had so many great players over the years, but then have lost them to nothing, and they've gone for nothing. And that's why they've not been able to push on, because one, the owner don't give them any money, but they've never had a lot of money from a player who's gone. And then I think a lot of people are now in transition. A lot of people are changing. Man United are changing and trying to build a new team. Arsenal are trying to build a new team. Chelsea are now trying to build a new team. So maybe we've been building a team for quite a while now, building up.
Yeah, and you've got to your point where you are. Yeah,
we're at our peak now, and everyone is trying. Maybe 2 or 3 years behind the project we started.
Yeah.
In their project, maybe that's why it's turned out like it has.
I'm going to talk about my club for a minute because obviously we've made some big moves already. I think we might be up there next season, but I don't think we'll win the league. I think we'll be up. But I think what we're going to do is I think we're going to start building that team. Hopefully we'll buy some defenders and we might have a chance. But I do not buy Ben Chilwell, by the way, because I do not rate the guy. I just do not rate the guy. I think he's a bit of a. I think he's been tricking people on how good he is, personally. But this isn't a Ben Chilwell episode, so we'll leave that. But
here we go, the new Ben Chilwell shirt.
yeah. But I do look at Manchester United, and I am starting to kind of look at them a bit more like that, because Bruno Fernandes has transformed them into a team that looks like a laughingstock, into a team that's probably very likely to get in the top 4. Hopefully we'll be able to pip them if it's between us and them. But
I sort of think with Man United is that, I mean, a lot of Man United fans and your brother might not agree with what I'm going to say, but I think they're never going to get any further when they've got Solskjaer in charge. I think
I agree with you. Yeah,
he reminds me a bit of a PE teacher, and
well, like David Hockaday, who were at Leeds.
He's like a bit of a PE teacher, and I think when times get rough at Man United, I don't think he's the man to do it. But end of the day, we say this, but Mourinho, one of the best managers over the last 20 years, came in, didn't make it happen. Van Gaal was a very experienced manager, didn't happen with him. And David Moyes is a good Premier League manager.
I don't know if he is anymore, but yeah. But do you know what you could see? You know, if you look at when Klopp inherited your team, that squad wasn't the best, was it? Where if you took a Pochettino and he got that team now, you might think, yeah, you see what I'm saying now, don't you? I mean, Pochettino could end up anywhere, because he's like, I can't believe he's out of work, to be honest, when you think about it. It's like, you get what I'm saying now, don't you? I think your manager transformed your club.
But we had a manager who was used to winning trophies. He won
Yeah.
He won leagues.
Well, Pochettino won out, so.
he won leagues.
Yeah.
To win in Germany, you automatically come to the Premier League and win. But he knew how to win. Ole Solskjaer doesn't know how to win.
Yeah, I agree with you, yeah.
He does as a player, because he won everything as a player. I'm talking as a manager.
Let's flip this then. What if he wins, say, the Europa League or the FA Cup this season? Does that change things, because then he is a winner?
Maybe. But it's whether he's going to be backed. This is the thing. Mourinho wasn't backed. Right,
it wasn't. We said that in the Mourinho episode, didn't we? Yeah.
Right, in the last season he was there, he wasn't back. It's whether the owners, and this is the thing, this is about every owner now. Owners for Arsenal, owners for Man United, Chelsea are starting to come out and show what they're doing, and our owners as well. Do the business. If you want your team to be up there next season, you have to spend money, and Arsenal have to spend money. Man United have to spend money.
The thing is, I feel like Arsenal, we talked about them, I think they're quite far away now. I don't think they're going to be. I think they need to just try and get back into that top 4, and I think they're a long way off, personally.
I think
they're
a good 5 or 6 years behind Arsenal. I really do.
Yeah, I do. And that doesn't mean in 5 or 6 years you're going to be there, but it means that's where they are. Like, you compare them to you, and they're light years behind. But so I'm going to put you on the spot now. Liverpool retain the title next season, yes or no? Or do you not want to answer? You said you're going to plead the fifth.
No, right. I think it all depends on Man City. It all depends on Man City. Actually, no, sorry. It all depends on what City and Liverpool do in the transfer window.
Transfer window, yeah.
I think if we just think we're going to do it next season with the same team, we're wrong. we're not going to be able to do it again with that team. This team is brilliant. For me, it's the best Liverpool team I've ever seen in my lifetime. But I think if we want to go again, we need to get players in. City will not down. Pep Guardiola will not sit at home now on the way back home and say, right, we're going to do it with the same players next season. He'll be like, somebody's going, and we're going to bring some more quality in, and they can afford to do it.
Yeah, so, I think you City get a quality centre back, which is vital.
To go with Laporte, definitely.
And then maybe because David Silva's leaving, which is a big loss. Someone to replace him, then you might look. I mean, maybe even that is it. Phil Foden, maybe he can fill those boots. But I mean, there's rumours about him leaving now.
I think we will. I don't think we'll win the Premier League next season.
Okay.
I think.
So who do you think will? Just based on now, we can't talk about 6 weeks' time and the transfer window. Just based on now.
I think if you're going to look at it, the choice though, if we don't win it, then you look at City, don't you? Because they're the best two teams in the Premier League. So if we ain't going to win it, then you'd expect City going to win it. If City weren't going to win it, you'd expect us to win it. I think City will probably win it again next season. But I think Chelsea will run close next year.
I hope so.
Chelsea are maybe another 2 seasons.
Yeah, I think it's 2. And that's not saying we're going to win it in 2 seasons because you don't know what's going to happen. But
I just think they want to be a little bit more closer to the. I think if Chelsea season end the season, I don't know, 8 points off second, I think that would be a good season for Chelsea. Also,
I do. Yeah, I think if Lampard gets top 4, it's a great season. I don't think.
Is it 11?
I'll have a look. I'm not sure. It might be. Well, it might have closed a bit now after tonight. But
is it 11?
I'm gonna look now. Sorry, got technical difficulties.
Yeah, I think Chelsea will be up there next season. I think.
So you think it'll be a 3-way battle between those 3? Is that what you're trying to? Do you not think Manchester United will be up there then? Do you think they're a bit off?
I think they're still a bit away at Man United. I do. I think they're a bit away. And
Man City are 9 points ahead of Chelsea, by the way.
Okay, so I said 8 points would be a success for Chelsea next season. So
yeah, I mean,
they're there now, then, aren't they? Really?
I'm talking about the 3 clubs I just mentioned, but I've not said anything about like Wolves or Leicester, which.
The previous with Wolves and Leicester is they're a good team. They're very good teams until they lose players, and then Dama Traore, Raul Jimenez, Neto, Connor Cody, maybe. What's he got? Ruben Neves. If they lose 2 of them, it's gonna. Adama Traore will not beat Wolves next season.
Yeah,
I'll put a guarantee.
I think you might be right. Yeah. So, last question. Well, I've got some else afterwards, but who do you think is going to be going playing in the Community Shield? So, do you think it's going to win the FA Cup? If you just had to have a guess now.
I don't even know, isn't it?
Well, we play Leicester in at weekend. Norwich play Man United. Arsenal, Sheffield United.
City
is still in it, yeah. I don't know who they're playing though.
I think depending. I don't think you can choose after your performance tonight. It's something you can choose. It doesn't mean because you've done this tonight that you.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Again, I probably can't see past Man City, sadly. I think because Pep Guardiola will want to win a trophy this season. He want to win.
They already want League Cup, yeah. But
League Cup.
See, I'm going to say this right. If they win the League Cup and FA Cup, I think that's a good season, personally. Whether you finish second or not.
Do you know? I think to them, it's an okay season. I think they want if they don't win the Champions League again this season, I think they'll be absolutely buggered with it.
I know what you're saying.
This team is their best team. I think if they
don't win,
people will start to go. They need to win it this year.
Well, they're almost at the back end, aren't they? And have a look at when we won it, when we were kind of at our back end. But right, so last question: Liverpool won the Premier League, Super Cup, the World Cup Championship. I always get that one mixed up. City have won. Well, we're not counting the Community Shield. The League Cup. If City win the FA Cup and the Champions League, have they had a better season than Liverpool? Or do you think you've both had great seasons in your own and it's just what it is. It's just a silly football thing. It's not anything.
I sort of think from a I think if you look from a Premier League standpoint, Liverpool have not won a title for 30 years. So
Yeah.
I sort of think that sort of is right up there of being.
Yeah.
It's you could say that Liverpool have had a better season, but City have never won a Champions League either. So I think it's two holy grails.
Yeah.
Holy grail. So if they can both complete that, we've done our part now. If they can go and complete their part as well, maybe it would be a par for Man City and Liverpool because
I was going to say that. Like I put a poll out on the Twitter page a while back, and I said if you won the Premier League and the FA Cup, or you won the FA Cup and the Champions League, what's better? And they actually tied the results. And there was a third option: is it a tie as well? But the two results tied, and I think obviously that's not what's going to happen here. But I feel like they're on par. So I feel like if City won the Champions League, because I thought last year you won the Champions League, they won the league. You both had as good a season as each other because you both won the biggest trophies you can win. So
I think if Liverpool wouldn't have won the Champions League last season, I think it'd have been very harsh on Liverpool to not at least come away with a big trophy. And I think it would be harsh on Man City as well to not come away with a big trophy.
I agree with you, but at the same time, I kind of don't feel like they've played well enough to say that. Like last season, you were so good. I feel like you could say but they haven't played that well this season. They've been so behind in the league.
There's still some pretty good teams.
Costa is, yeah.
It won't be no slouches.
No. I mean, if I'm betting with you now, I don't think City will win the Champions League, honestly. I think they'll probably win the FA Cup and that'll be it.
When they played Real Madrid won't actually go in that well in La Liga, I don't think, when they played last.
I think they're playing quite well now, aren't
they? Real Madrid have been good in La Liga.
Yeah.
I think they've already won a league, have already won a Champions League, which could be dangerous to Bayern Munich because they've already won their league now.
Yeah.
Won now, we have nothing else to play for, but they still have the Champions League as well. City still have FA Cup and stuff like that, so they've still got something to play for. Bayern are just sort of going through games now, just waiting for the Champions League to start.
Yeah. Well, they're already through against us. They're 3-0 up, so barring a miracle.
I don't know. I think it's difficult. I think yes, Liverpool fans will say it's us. I think if you ask Man City fans if they win the Champions League, they'll say it's them.
Exactly.
I think it's.
I was just playing with you anyway, Dougie.
It's up to the neutrals to make that decision, really.
I personally think they'd be on par seasons. So, right, I think that's going to do it then, innit? So, Dougie, congratulations. And congratulations to Liverpool Football Club on being Premier League champions finally.
Hey.
Anything else before we go?
No, I just think it's can't wait now to actually see us lift the Premier League, and it's gonna be to an empty stadium if everyone starts going, empty stadium. But end of the day, come the end of the season or come now, it still says champions now.
When like I said, Dougie, you get the same trophy.
It's still and what did Klopp say? We'll celebrate next season. So we're doing really crap next season. We'll just parade trophy out ground again, and it will make us all happy again.
Well, if next season starts and fans are allowed back, they'll probably just bring the trophy out the first game of the season and just be like parade it around. So, right. So, Dougie, I'm sure you we said the other day we'd do this episode if what happened, and it did. So, folks, Liverpool are Premier League champions, and they will now go into the summer, and that's them. Well, it's the summer, isn't it, actually? I'm getting confused. They'll go towards next season, and next season they will be defending Premier League champions for the first time in the Premier League era. So I know they've won league titles before. You got me.
Wonderful.
So, Dougie, you want to tell them about the Twitter?
Yeah.
And the email?
Tweet us at PL Seasons and drop us an email at gmail.com.
You didn't even say the thing? PL Seasons to remember.
Oh, yes, PLC to yeah.
He's drunk on it. He's drunk on happiness. So there you go.
I am.
So right.
So send us your comments as well. What do you think about the game tonight? And any Liverpool fans out there, let's hear from you, and let's celebrate as we are now champions of England. Get in.
And don't worry, folks. Dougie will be back presenting, not me next time. So.
Champions of England. Thanks, everybody.
Good night.